Hello and welcome. I'm Sarah Raymond with the Mindful Movement. Thanks for joining me. Today is a Pilates practice to help both build strength in your upper body as well as mobility. Oftentimes you might find that if you're very flexible, it comes at a price of not being very strong, or the opposite might be true. You might be very strong and not very mobile. So today we will work on building balance between both of those components of your well-being. So let's get started. If you're comfortable standing, we'll begin there, or if you prefer sitting down, that's fine too. Starting with a little bit of breathing, take your thumbs towards the back of your rib cage and the fingers towards the front of your rib cage, and just use it as a little bit of feedback here. And then as you're ready for your next inhale, begin to breathe into your hands, expanding your rib cage side to side, and then breathe out. We'll do that a few times here. Notice that you can still breathe deeply, opening the rib cage side to side and then releasing, so that the breath is going into the lowest part of your lungs and out. Let's do 2 more breaths there, breathing in and letting your exhale relax maybe your neck and shoulders. And 1 more deep breath here. And out. And then allow your arms to just rest by your sides. And then we'll start with a release for the neck and shoulders, because sometimes the muscles that are tense there can inhibit our range of motion or our mobility. So you can take your right hand to your left shoulder and just wrap your fingers around, and as you squeeze that muscle, lift your shoulder up towards your ear, and then you'll release the squeeze and the muscle. And we'll do that a couple times. Squeeze and lift, and then release. And maybe go a little up towards your neck, a little down towards the side of the shoulder. And then you can just use your fingers to give yourself a little massage here. Maybe up the neck and down to the shoulder. And then just allow your arms to rest by your sides, and maybe notice a difference between the side that you've already released a little bit and the other side. And then we'll go ahead and do the other side. So squeeze, lift your shoulder, and then release. And then you can use your fingers to just massage out any knots or tightness that you might feel. And then relaxing your arms again. So I like to start with the movement of the shoulder blades, the shoulder girdle, so that we feel the range of motion that is possible and not just holding them in place for the whole practice. So start with the elevation or a lift of your shoulders up towards your ears, and then releasing or drawing down. So let this be active in both directions, lifting up and then drawing your shoulder blades actively down. We'll do that a couple times, inhaling up and exhaling, drawing your shoulders down. 1 more time, inhaling up and drawing down. And then starting to move the shoulder blades open and closed, or protraction and retraction. We'll reach our arms forward, and then almost like you're trying to plug your arms in, draw your shoulder blades towards each other, and then feel the shoulder blades glide wide on the upper back. And I'll just turn around so you can see the movement a little bit more clearly. So as you reach your shoulder blades towards each other, the arms plug in, and then widen the shoulder blades across your upper back. So this is retraction and protraction. And we'll just do that 1 more time in each direction. Drawing your shoulder blades towards each other, gliding across your rib cage, and then widening. And then just step your feet a little bit wider so we have some wider base of support here. And then we'll incorporate a spinal movement with the shoulder movement. You can just soften your knees so you have a nice easy stance here. So reaching your arms back out in front of you, round your back, tucking the tail, tucking the chin, and then feel your shoulder blades glide across your upper back here. So we're in that wide position. And then open your arms, lift your chest, think of arching your back as your shoulder blades draw towards each other again. So shoulder blades will widen as you round and then draw towards each other as you arch. One more time, exhaling into your round spine and inhaling, open. Good, and then let's come to the end of the mat and lift your arms up, take a big breath in, and then exhale, nod your chin, and we'll take a slow roll down. We'll take 2 full breaths. And just pause in the middle here, take a breath in, and then exhale to finish the roll down. And then just bending your knees as much as you need to find the floor with your hands. Walk your hands forward and we'll come to all fours. All right, so making our way down onto the floor here. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. And then just to establish your neutral spine. So we're not rounded, we're not arched, we're in that midpoint. And then we'll move from the shoulder blades a little bit more here. So same as what we were doing standing. You're going to draw your shoulder blades together. So the elbows stay straight, the shoulder blades will draw towards each other, the chest drops down slightly. And then press into the floor, widen your shoulder blades. Maybe like you feel like your shoulders are reaching to opposite corners of the room. And then we'll do that again. So we're drawing our shoulder blades together and then widening. Inhale and exhale. A couple more times, just feeling the movement of the shoulder blades across your upper back. One more time. And then let's stay towards that top range. So we're wide and flat. Shoulder blades are wide and flat on your upper back. Drawing your abdominals in for a little support here. See if you can keep the position of the shoulder blades and just pick one hand up and then place it back down and then to the other side. And we'll do that a couple of times. Watch the tendency to sort of fall into the supporting arm. So the focus is more on the supporting arm and shoulder staying broad across your back. And just alternating sides. See if you can build a little endurance in this pattern. And then we'll begin to make it a little bit more a big range of motion, a little broader. And we'll take one arm and opposite leg out. We're reaching long again, trying not to sink into the standing arm, standing shoulder, and then lower back down. You can use your exhale to reach, and inhale, lower. And exhale, staying nice and lifted, almost like you're trying to push the floor away from you. Let's do one more on each side, reaching on your exhale and lowering on your inhale. And then just taking a moment to round your back and then arch. One more time, rounding with your exhale. Maybe sensing the shoulder blades widen even here. Okay, then coming back to the midpoint here, finding again your neutral. Curl your toes under this time so you can stand on the toes. So lift your chest up, draw your shoulders down, widen the upper back, and then with your abdominals engaged, just float the knees 1 or 2 inches off the floor and lower down. And again, like that, exhaling and inhaling. So the idea would be to stay strong in the upper body, strong in your abdominals, so we're not sagging or arching our back. Exhaling to lift and inhaling to lower. Now on the next one, we'll hold the lift of the knees and just see if we can rock a little bit. So strong through the upper body, setting that shoulder blade alignment. Lift your knees and then just a little rock back and forward. 2 more times. And then gently lower your knees. You can uncurl your toes. And then bring your hips back over your heels. Lower yourself down into a child's pose. And if you feel like you need a little rest for your shoulders, bring your hands back by your feet and just rest your forehead. So a couple deep breaths here, maybe rotating your shoulders side to side. And then when you're ready, make your way onto your back. Okay, so laying down fully on your back, bend your knees. You can line your heels up about the width of your front of your hip bones. And then we'll begin to bridge here. So with your exhale, tilt your hips back, drawing the low back towards the mat, and then lifting up. And for this bridge, keep reaching your knees forward. Lift your arms with your inhale. And think of reaching your arms back towards the wall behind you. And as if your knees and your hands are being pulled in opposite direction, lower down, lengthening, lengthening. When you get to about the low ribs, we'll let the arms float up so the spine can move fluidly. And then the arms can come back down to the floor. So we'll try that again. Exhale, curl up, lifting into your bridge. Inhale, reaching your arms back, find opposite direction for the length, and then exhale, lower down. Start to lift the arms when you come to about the ribs and back down. And again, exhale, roll up. Inhale, reach your arms back, find length, knees forward, arms back. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, the arms come back down. Let's do 2 more. Exhale, up into your bridge. Inhale, reach your arms. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, arms float back. One last time. Exhale, lift. Inhale, find length but ease in the neck and shoulders. Exhale, lower. Inhale, arms come down. Okay, now leaving the pelvis back down on the floor in neutral, lift your arms, take an inhale, sense your chin nodding toward your chest, and then as you exhale, curl up, and then see if you can just notice what's happening with the shoulders here. Are they up toward your ears, or are you able to sense reaching your fingers towards your feet? Maybe the muscles under the armpits engage a little to help find that position, and then lower back down. All right, again, like that, inhale, nod the chin, exhale, curl up. Think of reaching long, and then inhale, lower. Exhale, tuck the chin, curl up. This time, hold that abdominal curl. See if you can float your arms up, just maybe in front of your face without being pulled backwards. And then lower your head and your arms together. So we'll do that again. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, curl up. Holding that abdominal curl. Inhale, lift your arms. And exhale, lower everything down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, curl up. Hold that curl. Inhale, lift. And exhale, down. All right, last one, we'll stay curled up and go into the 100. So lifting the arms on your inhale, nodding the chin, exhale, pressing your arms down. Again, reaching fingers towards the heels so that you feel the shoulders engage. Draw your abdominals in, and then we can lift legs to tabletop. Feel free to keep the feet down if that's a better option for you. And then start pumping the arms, breathing in fully, and breathing out. Keeping the legs here if you'd like, or extending them out. So think tall, strong pumps of the arms with the head and shoulders stable. Full deep breath into the back and side of the ribs, and out, maybe sensing the abdominals sinking down. Let's take one more breath here. And then bend your knees, hug them in toward your chest as you lower your head down, and just gently turn your head side to side. releasing any tension that may have developed in the neck and shoulders. And then coming back to center, let's lengthen our legs down to the floor, extend all the way out. And then from there, moving into the roll up, arms will lift towards the ceiling. Again, nodding your chin toward your chest. And then start to roll up. Let's take 2 breaths to come up. Curl just the head and shoulders up, pause. Take another breath in. And then with as much control as you can, reaching your arms towards your feet and rolling up, rounding your spine. And you may notice here as your spine rounds, the shoulders do elevate a little towards your ears, but we want to be careful it's not excessive. And then from here, start your inhale, tip your pelvis back, roll back, 1 vertebra at a time. Again, we'll take 2 full breaths, pause, inhale, and exhale, lower. All right, 1 full breath to make our way up with as little momentum as possible. Nod the chin, inhale, exhale, curl up. Inhale, drawing your shoulders down, and exhale, rolling yourself back. And again, inhale, lift the arms, nod the chin, exhale, fold your ribs toward your hips. And round yourself up, rounding the back as much as you can, reaching forward towards your toes. And then as you start to roll back, remind your shoulders to roll down all the way to the floor. All right. And then just reaching your arms back. Take a big stretch here, lengthening feet and arms away from one another. And then lowering your arms, bend your knees. Let's bring our legs into tabletop. So knees over hips, and then arms can go towards the ceiling to prepare for a double leg stretch. Nod the chin toward your chest. Curl your head and shoulders up, and then see if you can bring your knees in toward your chest without rolling your pelvis up off of the mat. And then from here, inhale, reach your arms back so they're just in front of your face, shoulders down, legs extend. And exhale, bend your knees, bring your hands back to your shins. So we can stick with this, or if your shoulders feel okay, circle your arms back to your shins. Inhale, reach, and exhale, circle. I like to keep the pubic bone or the mid-thigh a focal point so you don't feel like you're falling backwards with your head and shoulders. So 2 more, inhale, and exhale, 1 more time. Inhale, and exhale, and then lower yourself down. Maybe rock your knees side to side. Okay, moving on to a side kick. Let's roll onto our side, and we'll start with the elbow under the shoulder, if that's okay. If you need to come all the way down onto your side, feel free to make that adjustment. If you're comfortable here, elbow is going to be directly under the shoulder, and we're going to try to avoid sinking into the shoulder. So we're pushing into the floor, lifting up from the bottom armpit, the bottom waist, and I like to keep the bottom knee bent here, but if you'd prefer to straighten it, that's fine too. Let's lift the top leg, and then we're working to get as equal through the waist as we can. So you might have to really reach long through that top leg. And we'll point the toe, kick forward, inhale, and then flex and kick back, exhale. Inhale forward and exhale back. Trying to stay as stable as you can, which is a lot easier said than done. Keep the bottom waist engaged here. One more repetition. And then relax that leg down. And we'll switch sides. So turning over onto the other side. Let's bring, again, elbow under shoulder. Try to line it up directly underneath of you. You can bend your bottom knee if that feels good, or keep it straight. And then set yourself up really actively here, pressing your elbow down into the mat, drawing your shoulder down, lifting up from the bottom waistline. And then when you lift that top leg, first just reach it out. Try to make yourself as equal through the waist as you can. Point forward, inhale, and flex back, exhale. Being up on the elbow here, maybe focus a little bit more on the stability of that shoulder rather than not quite as big of a focus when you're down on the ground all the way. Let's do 2 more. And then relaxing that leg down. Let's make our way onto our belly. We'll start with a low swan and build up a little bit here. So your hands can begin under your shoulders. I like to go palms down, elbows off the mat, so you get a little more feedback of the shoulders. So from here, lengthen the pubic bone down onto the mat. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. You may even think about reaching your elbows back. And then as the shoulder blades glide down toward your hips, the head and chest lift, trying to keep the neck long, and lower down. So you can try it with an inhale to lift and an exhale to lower. If you feel like you need more support from the abdominals, reverse the breath. Okay, so you can either stay with your low swan, or perhaps take your hands a little farther forward and then see if maybe you're okay with a little more range of motion. So shoulders down, chest lifts, and when you can't go any farther, start to use your arms to help support you. Now I'm going to take my hands a little farther forward so I can straighten all the way and then lower down. So drawing the shoulders down each time as a preparation, and then lifting. Think of the chest reaching through the arms. And lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Now you can stick with either the low swan where we were before, or the slightly more range of motion, or we can practice a little bit more dynamic variation. So the shoulders will draw down, we lift up. All this is the same. That's your inhale. Now we'll lift our hands off the floor, reach the arms forward as we come forward. The legs are active, arms reach, and then we catch at the top again. So try to keep your legs active, keep the shape of the body. Inhale and lift. Let's do 1 more. And then we get to rest down. Let's press ourselves up to all fours and round up into that cat position. And then we'll keep that rounded shape of the spine and just slowly begin to rock back and forward. Take your time as we take the spine in the opposite direction here. Okay, and then lengthening back out to neutral. From here, let's position ourselves so that our wrists are under our shoulders. And then step 1 leg back, really actively engage that leg, lift the abdominals, find that wide position of the upper back, and then with all of that consistent, step your 2nd leg back. So we're in a high plank. Start to rock yourself forward, pointing and flexing to come back. A couple times like that. And then we'll lower knees and press back, give yourself a breath. Okay, now keep in mind you can always go back to the rocking from all fours that we practiced with at the very beginning if that's a better option for you. Or we'll take that 1 step further into the full leg pull exercise. So stepping 1 leg back and then the other. This time lift 1 leg, point both toes, rock forward, flex both, rock back, and lower down. Point, flex, lower. Point, flex, lower. Let's do 1 more on each side. Take your time, settling back into child's pose. Again, if your shoulders are tired, either hands under your forehead or back by your feet. Okay, making our way to seated. Let's extend the legs out in front. Separate your feet about hip bones distance apart. Flex your ankles if you can. If you need to elevate your hips for comfort or bend your knees, feel free to do that. So looking at how do I need to sit to keep an upright neutral posture. And then let's reach our arms forward. So in this tall posture, draw your shoulders down and then lift your spine up. And then from here, start your exhale, nod your chin, round your upper back. You may feel your shoulders widen here. Round your mid back, lower back as you reach your arms forward beyond the feet. And then when you start to restack, go from the bottom, mid back. The shoulders will glide down the back as the upper back straightens, and then the head comes back on top. Take a breath in and exhale. Inhale into the back of the body if you can, making a little more space. And exhale back up. And again, the shoulders will glide back down the back. Let's do 2 more. Breathe in and out. Inhale and exhale. Again, reminding the shoulders to settle down as you lift your spine. 1 more time. Inhale, exhale, nod the chin. Round your shoulders. And out. Good. Okay, and then from there, let's find a place where we can weight bear on our hands slightly behind us. So that might mean fingers towards your hips. If that's not so comfortable, go slightly out to the side. Find a place that is doable for you. And then the legs will go out in front of us. You can be parallel or turned out. I will say that just whatever feels the most stable for you, for your knees and in this position. So draw the shoulders down, lift the chest up slightly, and then we're going to press our heels into the floor and lift the hips. Try to come up as high as you can in that straight line without overarching your back, and then lower the hips back down. So readjust hands if you need to. Draw the shoulders down, lift up through the chest, press your heels down and lift. And lower back down. Okay, so last one. If you feel comfortable picking up a leg, we can pick up a leg. If not, just keep both heels down. Draw the shoulders down, lift, exhale. And then if you feel like you can pick up a leg, you lift and lower. Oh, it's a lot harder on that side. Let's do 1 more on each side. And lower yourself back down. Let's just fold forward over the legs here. Give yourself a stretch. Okay, restacking the spine. Come towards the front of your mat for rolling like a ball. So you have some space behind you. And let's start with just a little prep here. So if you can, tip your pelvis back and then find a place where you can balance, holding the back of the thighs. Sense the shoulders drawing down and then leaving the legs still. Draw your abdominals in, tip the pelvis back. You're going to round through the low back only as far as you can and then still be able to come back up. That one's a tough one to talk through. All right, exhale, roll back, round the spine. And inhale, lift. And like we did in our standing warm-up, the shoulder blades will widen here to allow you to fully round your upper back. And then up. Okay, now you can stick with that the prep that we just did, or you can come into the full rolling like a ball. And you'll tighten up your ball a little bit. So hold towards the front of the shins, round deeper, let your shoulder blades widen across your back. And then keep your belly as your focal point as you inhale, roll back, and exhale, up again. Inhale, And exhale. Oh, I'm going crooked. Let's straighten out. There we go. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, now we're going to use this to get ourselves up to standing. So for some of you, you might be okay with your legs like this, parallel and uncrossed. For others, we might need to cross the ankles and see if we can help ourselves up. And still, you have the option to use your hands to make your way up to standing. So I like to have my ankles crossed. You're gonna roll back, inhale, and then exhale, feet land, hands can reach out, lift yourself up, and then you come to face the front of your mat again. Okay, setting up for our final exercise, the Pilates push-up. Stand at the back of your mat with your heels hip distance apart or so. Take a breath in, lift your arms, lift your chest. Exhale, nod the chin, round down. Bend your knees as much as you need to bring your hands to the center of the mat. Hands will walk one over the other like you're going down a balance beam. And then eventually you step out to your high plank. So options, hold your high plank for 3 breaths, lower your knees, do 3 push-ups, straight legs, do 3 push-ups. So choose the option that is going to allow you to have the best form. For me, right now it's lowering my knees. So 3 push-ups, inhale down, exhale up. And then lifting your knees if they were lowered, lift your hips up. And just stay there for a breath, maybe pedal through your heels if you'd like. And then as steady as you can, take your hands back to that balance beam down the center of your mat. So practicing again, weight bearing on one hand at a time. Let your head relax when you come back to your forward fold. And then take your time rolling your way up. And we'll do one more repetition of those. Take a breath in. And then out. Nod your chin, round forward. And then hand over hand down the center of the mat, as stable as you can, practicing weight bearing on one hand at a time, then out into your plank. Again, hold for 3 breaths, 3 straight leg or bent knee push-ups. Inhale down, exhale up. And then making your way into that pike or a downward dog position. And take your time, hand over hand, down the center of the mat. Pause there, take a breath in. And exhale, slowly roll up. Lift from the abdominals, tuck the tail towards the heels. Awesome, and when you get to the top, take one more full breath in. And out. And that is your Pilates practice for today. Thanks so much for joining me. Feel free to leave a comment in the section below and let us know how it felt for you. See you next time.